What's up, everybody? This is Bryce from Geekosity, and I'm coming to you with another video, this time about why I'm through with Marvel. They're finished. And as you can see, it's all her fault. So, if you don't know who this is Marvel VP Sana Amanat. And she is the cause of everything going wrong at Marvel. Or at least, I would say she's probably about 80% of the cause. And as she put it, she essentially had no business being in comics. And this is an article from Bleeding Full, and this is just part of the reason why I'm through with Marvel. So let me jump right into her part of why. As she said, I had no business being in comics. And see, here's the problem with Sana Amanat. So if you don't know who she is, she started out as really just kind of a executive at Marvel, who really didn't have much clout, you could say, in the industry. She had no business in the industry because she really only worked at this place called Virgin Comics for 2 years, and then after that she got approached to go work at Marvel because she had a different voice than what the Marvel readership was had at the point. That is the problem. That right there is the main problem. That is why Marvel is failing now. That's why I'm done with them. Listen here. If you haven't already been able to tell, I'm black. I'm not white. I'm not Hispanic. I'm not Asian. I'm black. I like comics. I like video games. I like manga. I like anime. I like books. I like TV shows, movies. I'm a huge geek. I love everything when it comes to geek culture, hence the name Geekosity. So when I say I don't want none of that shit that she's selling, then that's when you know it's a problem. I'm the exact person that she wants to buy her products, and I don't want none of that shit. Like, keep that the fuck away from me. Excuse the language. Keep that the hell away from me. Like 10 feet. Like, you got a restraining order against me, or I got a restraining order against Marvel Comics, because that's how it feels right now. It feels like I can't even walk into a comic book shop and go even anywhere near Marvel Comics section because it's just, I feel disrespected. I feel treated like I'm useless. Like I'm not important. Like I don't really matter to Marvel Comics, because even though I'm the target demographic, quote unquote, according to Sana Amanat, I'm a minority. I hate that shit. Stop calling me a goddamn minority just because you think of yourself as a minority. I'm a black man living in an urban area in California. Yes, I know I am not the majority, but that doesn't mean that I look at myself as a marginalized person or a minority or any of that shit. So when you get people like Sana Amanat coming into geek culture telling us, well, since we're minorities and since you're a minority, I'm going to give you the stories that you've always wanted. Chick, I got the stories I've always wanted. Honestly, that's why I read manga, because they give me the stories I want. If I really want, a story about an amazing heroine, guess what I'm going to go read? I'm going to go read Claymore like I did a couple months ago when I reread the whole thing, because I love Claymore. And Claymore is essentially a story about a group of badass chicks who carry claymores and go kill basically kind of like yoki creatures, right? Which they're not really creatures, they're like humans, but whatever. And the main majority cast in that book is about maybe 85% female cast. Most of the heroines are females except one. So yeah, I ain't got nothing to prove. Ain't nobody has nothing against, females, diversity characters. I mean, you can look at my bookcase and I can show y'all. I'm not, because obviously, I'm not. But I can show y'all my bookcase. I got a bunch of female authors. Probably my ratio is probably more female authors to male authors right now on my bookcase, on my phone in terms of books that's ebooks. Like, I have nothing against who creates the story, who's in the story. None of that really matters to me. What matters is am I getting a good story? And the problem with Marvel Comics is Sana Amanat walked into there, and the first thing that was on her mind was not to give us a good story, but to give us diverse stories, stories with a different voice from different people of marginalized backgrounds. Bitch, we don't want none of that shit. Like, none of it. Because it's not authentic, it's not real, and you don't come from a place of passion, of love, of the industry, of the medium. You come from a place of, I have a voice and I want to get my story out and my message out. That's cool. That's fine. You can do that, but you can do that shit on your own time, because ain't nobody got time for that. We want good stories. We want good books, good art. That's it. That's all we ask for. I don't care if the character is Iron Man, a white man, Thor, a white man who's really a Norse god, so that's an entirely different other thing of white. Captain America, Steve Rogers, the white man. I don't care about none of that. But let's look at what Sana Amanat did in her first couple years of being at Marvel Comics. All of a sudden, she comes in 2009. So now let's think about this real quick. 2009. What else happened to Marvel Entertainment in 2009? Oh, they got bought by Disney. Oh, see, now we starting to see a connection here of what the hell happened to Marvel Comics from 2009 to onward. So for the last 10 years. See, when Marvel Entertainment got bought by Disney, they got bought by Disney because Disney wanted the licenses. They wanted the IP. They didn't really care about the comic stuff. They just wanted the IP, the characters. They wanted to be able to create merchandise, to create movies, to create attractions for their theme parks, to create attractions for their cruise line ships. Because if y'all didn't know, Disney got cruise lines too out there. They popping. They wanted to license that because they wanted a boy brand. Because remember, Disney has always been looked at as a girl's brand. So they wanted a boy brand to fulfill that other side of the niche, which is also why they bought Star Wars. See the connection? They bought those two properties to fill a specific demographic. The problem is that once Marvel Comics, Marvel Entertainment as a whole got bought, Marvel Publishing stopped caring anymore. Because here's the thing, Marvel Publishing never made that much money. Marvel actually made majority of their money not from their comic sales after the crash. They made majority of their money from the licensing merchandise deals. So those licensing deals which when you was playing Spider-Man games back in the day, X-Men games when they used to make them, like X-Men Legends 2, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, when we was playing those games, all those I wasn't playing them, but all those trash movie tie-in games, yeah, they got money for that. They got paid for that. All those movies, even though they wasn't making them, they were still getting cut back from that. They were still getting cuts from that because it's licensing fees, and they didn't have to do nothing. So they was making money off of all of that merchandise. I mean, how many people walk around with Marvel T-shirts, Marvel backpacks? Like, they was walking. They had money from all of that stuff. So they didn't really have to necessarily worry about how much money the comics were bringing in. But at least up until 2009, they did worry. They did care. But the problem is, once they got bought by Disney, now they getting backed by Disney money. So see, Disney already got the pockets, and now Marvel can sit back and just chill. Like, well, I don't really got to do much because, they paying for me anyway. See, Marvel Comics is kind of like how the government is when, the government decides to own a industry through socialism. When the government steps in and they start running a business through economy, government things like socialism, guess what happens? It fails almost all the time because it has no true oversight. It has no need to be profitable because they can just sink money into it. You see, that's the thing with Marvel Publishing now. They have no reason to be profitable because Disney can technically sink money into them, even though they're not. As long as Marvel Comics isn't losing money, They have no reason to shut them down because they are an IP farm. If you don't believe me, CB Cebulski said it himself. They're an IP farm. They are where Marvel Publishing is where the newest ideas are going to come from, and then they're going to branch out to TV, movies, and et cetera, et cetera. They're nothing anymore. They're not trying to be innovative because they don't have to. All they got to do is come out with a couple trash characters. So that's what we ended up getting. We ended up getting female Thor. We ended up getting Riri the sociopath Williams in Ironheart. We ended up getting Sam Wilson as Captain America. Sam Wilson should have never been Captain America. And arguably, he's the best choice to be Captain America if Cap has to put down the shield, but he didn't need to be. There was nothing wrong with Cap. There was nothing wrong with Steve Rogers being Cap. He's Cap. You don't take that away. That's like saying somebody else besides Bruce Wayne can be Batman. They've tried that. Doesn't work for that long because nobody else can be Batman like Bruce Wayne. Nobody else can be Superman like Clark Kent. Yes, you can have apprentices. You can have sidekicks, but nobody else can be these standout characters other than them. So nobody else can truly be Iron Man other than Tony Stark. Nobody else can truly be Captain America other than Steve Rogers. First off, Thor is his money-loving name, all right? His name is Thor Odinson, as in Thor is his first name, Odinson, as in his last name back then, if you understand how last names work back in the day, yeah. So he isn't. So the fact that they passed on the mantle and Thor can be a female, no, Thor cannot be a freaking female unless Thor reincarnates into a female, which cool, understandable. Loki's done it. Other people have done it too. I would have accepted that as a better explanation than giving Jane Foster the power of Thor. Cool, give Jane Foster the power of Thor and call her something else, but she's not Thor. Like, here's what they don't understand, right? I come from a marketing background, okay? I go to school. I went to school for it. I mean, still kind of in school until May. But pretty much, I understand how marketing works. I understand how this stuff works. So if you're going to, bring in somebody to create a new target demographic, first off, you already failed right there. Because it's one thing in marketing that you learn, okay? One thing in marketing that you learn is it's extremely harder. Oh, that's bad. That's very poor English. Okay, it is obstinate. Oh, nope. We're not even going there. All right, put it this way. It is way more difficult to bring in a new customer than it is to keep an old customer. And if we put it in money terms, okay, let's say in order to attract a new customer, it costs you $100. For that exact same amount, you could keep 10 customers for $10 each. You see what I'm saying? It costs way more to bring in just one customer than it does to keep just one customer. That is a tried and true understanding principle of marketing. Clearly, Marvel just doesn't understand that anymore because they just completely effed it all off. Sana Amanat walked in. From the first thing she said, her thought was, how do I change Marvel? How do I bring in more female readership? That's cool that you want to bring in more female readership, but you don't have to. That's the problem. The problem with these new age SJW, NPC, script reading freaking idiots is that everything is not meant for you. Okay? I hate with a burning passion of 1,000 suns the 50 Shades series. Hate it. Guess what? It's not for me. I had to go see the movie because I was dating a girl who wanted to go see the last movie. I said in that movie and I was like, what the hell am I watching? She walked out and she was like, oh, I liked it because it was for her. She was the target audience. I didn't like it. I thought the movie was stupid. I tried to read the book one time, and my eyes almost bled out because I was like, what the hell am I reading? It's First off, the whole series is literally, you know, kid grade level BDSM, and it's like just it's not even for beginners. Like beginners don't even want to read that. But it's you understand, like it's not the target audience for me, okay? It's not something that is universally appealing to every single person. No, it is for a specific demographic of people, and it's perfectly fine. It was perfectly fine being that. There was no reason to try to turn it up to make it something more appealing to men too. You didn't need to, because we don't care. So so the same thing, the same exact thing goes for comics. Why do you need to change Marvel Comics, a boy brand, as Sana Amanat put it? It's used to be a boy brand. We don't want to look at it like that anymore. Why? Why do you feel the need to change it? Let's look at another example, okay? Let's look at across the pond, or as they say, across the ocean to Japan. Okay, let's look at the comic industry's rival, the manga industry. Shueisha Entertainment, Shueisha Publishing, right? They are the house that controls Weekly Shonen Jump, Viz Media, etc. So Weekly Shonen Jump is the manga imprint out there. It's the largest manga imprint. You know what that magazine target demographic is? 12 to 18-year-old young boys. That's it. That is the demographic. So you know what the stories focus on? Stories that appeal to 12 to 18-year-old young boys. That's it. They don't come with stories that appeal to young girls. You know, they may skew a little bit younger. They may skew a little bit older. But at the end of the day, all of those stories have that genre, which is the shonen genre. It has very specific traits and characteristics that every story that goes into that magazine should have. Doesn't matter what genre it's in. You know, the magazine carries stories in romance genre, slice of life, action, adventure, mystery, you know, detective work. It has stories in all genres, but they all share similar traits, characteristics, and understanding. A majority of their stories have boy, male protagonist and a female heroine. Why? Because most of a large part of the readership is male, so they understand it's boys. Boys want to read about boys. There's nothing wrong with it. But other reason why I brought up Weekly Shonen Jump, the demographic breakdown actually is a very interesting one, because last time I checked the statistics, they have about a roughly 40-something% female readership. And guess what? They've had a 40-something% female readership for a very long time now. And they still have yet to change it to appeal to more females. Why? Because they understand one very simple fact that I learned in marketing. Most people should have learned in marketing if they were paying attention. It's that if you have something that's meant to target one demographic, and then it branches out and it hits other demographics that you weren't even necessarily going for, but it just so happened that it appeals to them too, you don't change. You don't change it up. Don't change up the winning formula. Keep running with it. Okay? Keep running with it. Building a larger audience comes with marketing, comes with advertising, comes with using a different strategy, but you don't change the core of what you have. See, Sana Amanat walked into Marvel Comics and said, I'm changing the core of the company. I'm changing the core of the brand, the core of the industry. As she put it, she wants Marvel Entertainment to be a lifestyle brand. What in the fuck is a lifestyle brand? Nothing. A lifestyle brand means nothing. What, you want to do cooking shows on YouTube? Seriously? You want to sit down and talk about fucking hair? Seriously? If you're going to have a freaking YouTube channel, first off, why are you not doing podcasts? Why are you not doing talks with creators constantly? Why are you not doing 10, 15, 20-minute videos on the backstories of characters before they come out in theaters. Because I definitely follow them on YouTube, and I see maybe a 3-minute video on the history of this character. 3 minutes ain't gonna tell you nothing. So why not sit down with a comic creator who, you know, was really influential in the creation and the development of the character, if not the creation of the character, then the development of it, or somebody who's written the character. You know, they should have had spotlights, huge spotlights on Captain Marvel. Oh, but that's the problem. See, the problem is Captain Marvel has been rewritten, reworked, destroyed, rebuilt, feminized, and just wrecked in the comics for the last 15 years that, yeah, they don't really know what to do. So we ended up with some bullshit in the MCU, but that's for another video. Right now, I'm focusing on this chick. And I was about to say, she ain't even ugly, so I can't even diss her on that. And it's like, damn. It's a lot easier when you can call somebody ugly. I know, rude, but you know what? I'm speaking from the heart because I'm real upset right now. Because I'm real upset at her because she destroyed something that I grew up on and I loved with a passion. I grew up watching X-Men, the animated series, Spider-Man, the animated series on Fox. Yeah, if you ain't know about Channel 11, then you didn't grow up watching this stuff. I grew up watching all the X-Men series back in the day, from X-Men, the animated series, to X-Men Evolution, to Wolverine and the X-Men, and then that was the last one because they cut it because of the Fox stuff. I grew up watching the Spider-Man stuff. I watched the Iron Man stuff, Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. I even watched the trash Avengers, West Coast Avengers, that trash ass show. Yeah, that was a show too, and it sucked. You know, I grew up watching all of this stuff. I watched all the movies. I loved Marvel for what it was. And then you have Sana Amanat come in and change it all up. Like, from taking it back from a fanboy standpoint, from a marketing business standpoint, you've freaking failed, period. Sales have dropped in the industry and at your company for the last 3 years in a row. That is a failure of leadership. If you can say that, you know, Joe Quesada said, oh, haha, numbers are up. He replied on Twitter, fam, numbers are not up. Here's the thing. If you think numbers are up because you make more money, because you charge more for the product, you have to look at the flip. How many units are you still selling? Oh, you don't want to talk about the fact that your unit sales are down. You know what that means? That means even though you're fucking trying to butt rape everyone with your shitty monetary practices, people still don't want to buy your shit. So yeah, you failed. Sana Amanat, you failed. You have officially failed. You should be voted off the island. Goodbye. Because you do not need to be there anymore. All the Marvel executives, their marketing team, sales department should be vamoosed. All right? They should be excommunicated. You know, that's how bad it is. I don't even advocate for people getting fired from their jobs. They should all be fired. Every single one of them. They should all be out on their ass trying to figure out what to do next. Because they freaking destroyed a company. They've ran down Marvel Publishing into the ground now. It's become such a pariah in all talking spaces now that nobody cares. I mean, I'm a part of Comicsgate, or I'm a consumer. I care about this stuff. So when I go on Twitter and I go on YouTube and I see nobody talking about Marvel Comics unless it's to crap on them. Back when let's look at you know, when they brought up some sales, or this is back when Carol Danvers was actually selling units. But here's the thing, did they bring it up? Nah, they didn't bring it up in this article. Okay, pretty much back in 2009, guess who was the leading person back in 2008, 2009, if I'm not mistaken, the leading title? Captain America. Back then, Marvel had 24 out of 25 top 25 comics. Let me repeat that. They had 24 out of 25 top 25 comics in sales. Captain America was leading the pack. I think that was when Ed Brubaker was writing it, but I'm not 100% certain. But I think it was. But so I'm like, this is a company that was killing it. Spider-Man was up there selling within the same numbers as Batman and Superman. Captain America, Iron Man. Like, these are people who were selling units. These are characters that were selling units. Now look at them. Captain America, what? Barely maybe breaks top 20, top 30. Spider-Man's the only thing that's up on the charts unless it's Avengers every now and then, or unless it's a new number one. Because let's talk about that. Let's talk about these trash number one policies. Oh, this is a new series, but it's not a new series because we just canceled the old series 6 months ago. Iceman. Oh, this is a relaunch of a series. Avengers. Oh, we got a new creative team, so we're relaunching the series. Why? Oh, you think because people are put off by the numbering system? Yeah, they are. But guess what? If you kept it consistent, instead of having volume 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then guess what? You wouldn't have that big of an issue, because then people can just go back and say, I think I can go and get Avengers issues 400 through 500. Boom. Simple. But no, see, now we got to go, okay, Avengers issue 3. Well, which volume are you speaking? Are you speaking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Like, come on. And then that's not the other. I mean, that's the problem with number ones. It's relaunching. Like, there's no consistency. I don't feel, when I was buying Marvel comics, I didn't feel like that I was going to get anything worth my money after a while, because I know that they're just going to relaunch this shit and it's not going to matter anyway. Because now all of a sudden they have it in their head that they should just disregard whatever the last creative team did just to change it up. Kelly Sue DeConnick on Captain Marvel. Oh, reinvented the character. You ain't have to reinvent shit. Like, and whew, okay, let's see. Let me, what was next? Other thing I wanted to talk about. Oh, Avengers No Road Home. So that's this is I think these are the few things that broke the camel's back for me. Mark Waid still at Marvel. Mark Waid, the guy who is literally being sued for stupid shit. He's being sued because he couldn't keep his goddamn business to himself. He couldn't keep his goddamn hands out the cookie jar because he thought he had the power to stop some shit that had nothing to do with him. And he's still being employed at Marvel. That just tells me that they don't even care. They don't even care about what their employees do outside of the company. They don't care how it looks on them. They don't care how their image is. So Marvel doesn't want to. They want to keep. They don't want to fire Mark Waid. They want to keep him on. Cool. I'm not supporting them. I thought I could go back and support Marvel with this Uncanny XMen, the relaunch, because X-Men, my favorite group, my favorite books, I love them. I'm thinking, oh, I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna support now. I got through 3 issues, and I quit because it was fucking hot garbage. I said I'm gonna come back, and I said I had a different channel with my friends, and I was like, I'm gonna put out reviews, and I was trying, and I just couldn't bring myself to read it. Like, I could not bring myself to actually read that shit because it was terrible. It was so bad. It was so poorly written. I'm not even gonna get into it, but pretty much, if the book series gets a 7.3, this is Comic Book Roundup, right? So this is basically just an aggregate of different reviewers, okay? So if the book series is getting a 7.3, that means in reality it's probably like a 5. Because if even the Shield media doesn't even think the series is that good, then that should tell you something. That should absolutely tell you something. I mean, look at the number of people reviewing it. From issue 1, we had 23 reviewers. 16, 14, 13, 11, 10, 9. Okay. They picked, and then all the way to 10, issue 10 of their 10-week event dropped down to 11 reviewers because nobody wanted to read that garbage. Oh, okay. Another other thing. Next thing, Avengers No Road Home. I don't want to read this shit. It's another 10-week series. So not only, okay, and that was the thing about Uncanny X-Men. The first issue was $7.99. Every issue after that was $3.99. So what are we looking at? 9 times 4, that's 36 plus $8. So we're looking at $44 for a 10-week series. That should not be that much. Okay? Avengers No Road Home. The first issue was $4.99, so we're looking at $5. It's another 10-week series. So I'm assuming the next 9 are going to be $3.99. So once again, we're looking at 30. What 30? 40. Damn, I can't do math right now. 41. Okay. We're looking at $41. $41 for a 10-week Avengers series. That's not even counting the fact that Avengers, the main series, comes out I think twice a month. Like, does Marvel not even understand what they're doing to customers? Like, I get it, the shops are important, but I'm speaking as a customer because the shop, I'm the customer, okay? I'm the end user. I'm the last person on the distribution chain, okay? That's the problem. Marvel doesn't think about the end of their distribution channel. They only think about the middle. They think about getting that money to the supplier because they set up a deal where there's no way for comic book shops to get refunds on what they buy. They've officially set themselves up as goddamn swindlers because that's what they are. They're gangsters. They're swindlers. They came through and they said, look, if you need protection, no, scratch that. You need protection and we will give it to you, but you will pay us. And if you don't, we're going to burn your house down. We're going to burn your business down. That's essentially what Marvel's doing. They stepped in and they said, hey, if you want your shop to last, you got to buy Marvel Comics. Because if you don't, it's going to burn to the ground. But you got to pay us exorbitant amounts of money. So we're going to charge you out the ass. Oh, but you got to also feed that back to the consumer now. Don't worry. You do got to screw the consumer over too. Don't worry. This butt raping ain't just for you. See, that's the problem. I'm not taking that. I'm not having that. I'm done. You're not going to screw me over monetarily. You're not going to screw me over with story. You're not going to screw me over with pandering. I'm not your purse puppy. I'm not your little, hey, come over here and buy from me. Nah. You can go sit in the ditch somewhere because I don't care. That's how pissed I am with Marvel. That's how pissed I am at Sana Amanat, CB Cuck because the man came in. Legit came in. We thought, oh my God, like finally Alonzo's out. CB's gonna come in and they found out he was using a Japanese pen name to get work back in the day. And Sana looked at him. She looked him dead in his eye and said, you my bitch now. And he's been her bitch ever since. Because he ain't done nothing. I mean, Nasser had a call with him where he basically said, yeah, I don't really care what my employees do. Nasser called his ass out in public and he said, well, I mean, we had a talk with Max Bemis, like we had a talk with him, and then told him later on again that we don't really care. Because he has no leadership. Dude has no spine. He has no backbone. They castrated him. The moment he stepped foot through those doors, they chopped him off at the knees, took his nuts, and said, lay down. Because you ours now. And it's been like that ever since. Nothing's changed. Actually, take that back. It's gotten worse. Because you don't cancel a book like Iceman and then bring it back. Like, with the same creative team at that. That's just asinine. That's so freaking stupid. It's beyond stupid. And they tried to play us. They said, hey, we're going to bring back the original characters for you guys. Don't worry. Please, sit down somewhere. Shut up. And just take what we're giving you. Nah, we're not doing that no more. I'm not, and so many people aren't. And guess what? We're going to keep speaking about it. I'm going to keep making videos. I'm going to keep tweeting out on Twitter. I'm going to keep talking about it. Because everyone needs to know just how bad of a company Marvel Publishing is. Part of me really hopes Disney comes in, puts their foot through their neck, and then say, all right, you're done. I really hope Disney does that. I wouldn't even care if Marvel Comics goes by the wayside anymore, because it's done. It's been done. The last good, seriously good thing that I've read from them, that I've cared about, that I'm like, I have to keep up on this every week, was Jonathan Hickman's Avengers. And they let Hickman go. Kept Bendis. They kept Bendis, Dan Slott, Mark Waid, but they let Hickman go. They let Fraction go. And yeah, and Fraction the SJW too, but Fraction at least understands how to write comics. You know, there used to be a time where creators had politics. You know, they had their identity politics hidden under their sleeves, but they didn't show it in their work because they understood we don't want that shit. They understood that as a craft, you do not let your own thoughts, opinions, and ideas, morals, overtake the story. That's one thing you learn. John Gardner has said it best. You know, if your own morals are overtaking your story, then you're not telling a story. You're preaching. There's a difference. That's what they do. Sana Amanat walked in and she said, "We're preaching. Y'all gonna take this sermon." She thought she was up on the pulpit when she walked in. You're not. Like, I can keep ranting on, but I know this video has gotten long. I'm done. I'm done. Screw them. I don't want to hear nothing from them no more. Next thing I want to hear from Marvel is that either one, we're closing up shop, and that will hurt, but I will accept that. Or two, Disney just fired everyone. Other than that, you're finished. At least in my book. If you like that rant, please like, subscribe, comment down in the video, share it out, tweet it out, tell your friends, tell your family.